kind of like your mama likes to do. In this case, I was chewing on some hazelnuts. In the meantime, no D this afternoon because he has the shystery internet in the cabin by the woods where he is. Please bear with me while it's echo, 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 echoes, or maybe it doesn't because YouTube does that weird thing where it goes, oh, this video is private, and then I got to reload like 5 times before the video comes back. All right. Well, anyway, ladies and gerbils, welcome to the show. Thanks very much for joining us or joining me, I guess, right now, because again, like I said, he is incommunicado right now with his internet. I have hazelnut shells on the table here, which are kind of annoying, so I didn't plan on that. Anyway, it's basically nut garbage. I don't know why that's so funny for me, but it's amusing for me. Anyway, ladies and gerbils, thanks for joining us. The show's for adults only. If you think there's anything remotely redeeming about this show, you're wrong. It's for entertainment purposes only. There's maybe some education involved, but it's mostly just entertainment at this point. You shouldn't follow our advice on anything, including taste preferences on candy bars, how many slices of cheese we like on a burger. We're probably crazy people about all those things. You know, we probably have the wrong answer on all those answers or all those questions. So don't copy us on anything, certainly not on any of the spicy subjects that we might talk about. And of course, what do I always say? No, well, I often say nothing illegal is sold on this show. So to the trolls that have reported this show in the past, kindly go fuck thyself. Anyway, ladies and gerbils, I'm going to post a link here in a second to join me, but I'm going to have to mute me so that I can do that. So whoever's in the chat, welcome. Cheers. Hello. We're going to give out a pack of seeds that I didn't give out last night. So I just got tired. But Sour Morgana is up for grabs, ladies and gerbils. Really pleased with that one. So please bear with me for a second while I mute myself. I'm just going to do this. It doesn't hurt you to freaking hear the echo of things past. If it ever gets there. There we go. But boom. Cheers, Southern Vermont Vintage. Pop this shit out. Boom. I think BT is first in chat. Congrats, buddy. Let me hit the live chat so I can know. I would recommend that you guys switch to live chat as well. You get a little bit less filtered chatting experience. Southern Vermont Vintage VT, aka, is also or is first in the chat rather. Congrats, buddy. Jones is right behind them. Hardcore is right behind them. Operation Annihilation's in the house. What's going on, buddy? Long time to see, or at least been a week or so since we've seen you. Jones N2 Grow, good to see you. And of course, Crymore Grows is hanging with us. Welcome, Crymore Grows. That probably means Miss Chronic is shortly behind. Ladies and gerbils, let me. Oh, here comes Hardcore. Boom. Let me post the link, folks, if you guys would like to join us. We would be happy to chat with you. Let's start, shall we? There we go. Oh shit, God damn it. Am I logged into the wrong account? I might be logged in the wrong account. Okay, so give me a second and I will switch accounts again and pin that comment. But long story short, ladies and gentlemen, that is the link. You guys are more than welcome to join us. Tigro is listening while we're working. Good to see you, Tigro. Good luck in the garden there, buddy. Jones and Two Gross says day 69 bloom for Oblivion, looking real good. Good to hear it, Jones. Tell us more if you can. You don't have to, of course, but it'd be super fun to hear about that one. That's Memory Loss by the Coot Special, probably the most absurdly what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, tropical thin leaf cultivar of all the lines. You know, I basically tend more towards that sativa, we call them pretty much, but the uppity, the cheerful, happy, high as opposed to stoned experiences with the really thin, narrow leaf plants. I tend towards those. Morgana is basically what I think I'm best known for, all the different versions of Morgana, and Morgana definitely tends towards those. She'll still have basically what you would call hybrid leaves, I guess. They're sort of thin, but or long fingers, but still fairly fat. So she's definitely a hybrid of both thin leaf, narrow leaf, and broadleaf varietals. Anyway, sativa and indica. You try to avoid saying it, but it's so much easier to say it that way. Anyway, it's wrong, it's dumb, but it's so much easier to say it that way. Anyway, the memory loss is Amnesia Haze by great Face Off OG, I believe, from Archive. The face off definitely is a little bit more indica, so that's a little bit more balanced approach. They definitely brought down the harvest window on that memory loss. The amnesia haze normally I think is over 100 days. Memory loss definitely is, I think, right around 60 days, 62, 63, maybe a little bit longer, 65 days or something like that. Anyway, crossed into that Highland Thai Kerala Coot special, real crazy paint thinner, peeling off the wall kind of stuff. I hope you guys enjoy it. Certainly, Jones, I hope you really enjoy it and let us know. It should be a real skull thumper. Good to see you, Miranda. Good to see Operation Annihilation. There's Hardcore coming up here. Who else in the chat here? Christophe. Bonjour, Christophe. South Base hanging, buddy. Oh, he's going to take a dab and then jump on. You're supposed to hump on and then take a dab. Kidding. Whoever else in the chat I haven't said hello to. Cheers, folks. What's going on, Hardcore? Welcome.
Not much. Being lazy for a while so I can go and do shit.
Okay, why can't I pin this shit? That's why. Please hold.
Funny that you temporarily forgot Amnesia Haze.
Hmm. There we go. Now I can probably do it. Oh, here comes Flora. Boom. There it is. All right. Message pin. Folks, hit that link. You're more than welcome to come join us. Hey, cheers, Flora. Tell us about your garden. Tell us about what you're growing, whether it's something for me or not. Of course, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this show is actually basically supposed to be advertisement for my website. It hasn't been very effective at it, but fumodoro.com is my website where I have a bunch of merchandise, of course, t-shirts and stuff, and of course, genetic preservation kits to suit every uh, taste delight or something. Anyway, what's going on, Flora? It's a good word, buddy.
Sold
All the way.
lawnmowers.
Where are you? The ruins of Peru or something?
That's the San Diego Zoo.
Nice.
No, I didn't take the dab yet because it's so complicated. You know,
You
I
guys just
gotta,
battle rapped.
I gotta load this thing up, right? So you gotta do this whole situation, and then you gotta, heat the banger up and scoop the. I don't know. It's a process. So I
Don't
figured
chaz it.
jump on and do that process what we're talking. That's where with
Yeah.
like flour, right? You just throw it in the pipe. You just throw it in there, and you're good to go. It's not a. There's no wind up.
There you go. Here's folks in the chat. Pip Jam's hanging. Love Plants hanging with us. A bunch of moderators hanging with us. Good to see you guys. Who else in here? I missed somebody, but I can't see who it is. Somebody's name is hiding. Well, anyway, cheers, folks. Like I said, welcome. Hop on, join us. You're more than welcome to hop on with us. What's the good word in the garden, Flora? Are you back to growing? You took a little break for a little while.
I harvested about 3 weeks ago, but it was a seed run. So
Mm.
let that stuff get as dry as dinosaur bones, like
Mm.
super, so that I could, make it a little bit easier to get the seeds out of the the rubbish that'll be left.
Hmm.
But
Uh,
ice cream cake really impressed me.
did
Like
it?
even because I got this ice cream this sea junkie cut thing, and like I just thought, whatever, fucking hype shit, whatever. See it all the time, smoke it here and there. It's okay, whatever. But this cut, man, like the buds, you just barely bump into them. It's just like you got goo on your skin, right? It's like just like from
Hmm.
like brushing, like you squeeze them, like they're so gooey. And so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the thing my mail thing I made does. But yeah, that's going on. I just did just two strains. The ice cream cake clone, and then I had that Oreos clone. Um, I was more like excited about the Oreos, but it turns out that the ice cream cake is more impressive when I guess if you got the right cut, it's impressive. It's really gooey, but I don't know if that's going to translate into hash because it's real gooey. It's not sandy, right? So it's probably a better
Hmm.
probably a better
I
hydrocarbon.
haven't watched it, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think, the same cut of ice cream cake, and it's delightful. Honestly, it's a lovely cut. It's actually quite resistant, honestly, to a lot of stuff. Like if you basically, I mean, I don't really abuse my plants, but when I test my plants, I definitely make sure that they are exposed to a few things. Ice cream cake went through without a hassle. Basically, the one thing that it is prone to is PM. It definitely will get some PM at the end. But it's resistant to spider mites. It's resistant to watering issues. It's drought tolerant, on and on and on. Yeah. Light leak tolerant, you name it. It's really lovely, honestly. Turns purple, yields really well. The high is honestly incredible. It's frankly a fairly easy plant to grow. I'm going to give an ice cream cake plant to a friend of mine that's going to grow it, basically, who he grew very poorly last year. I gave him a couple of really nice plants last year. He didn't perform very well at all, but he's going to try again this year. Well, again, I'm not going to expect too much of it, but I'm going to give him way easier plants. I gave him a couple of difficult plants last year, or more challenging plants. This ice cream cake is going to knock it out of the park for him. I bet you he's going to get 2 pounds out of the fucking thing. Just like, you'd have to know the kind of gardener he is to know how miraculous that's going to be. But I bet you anything, he's going to get at least 2 pounds off the fucking thing. It's really lovely, honestly. And speaking of the hype and everything else, it's funny. You have to kind of disconnect yourself. What do they call it? The death of the artist. You have to sort of disconnect yourself from the creators of stuff, because we've talked about how Seed Junkie being connected to the cops and everything has a little bit of a checkered story. Maybe some of us wouldn't be that welcoming. I don't know. Maybe he's the nicest guy. I don't know him personally, right? But fuck, some of his work is excellent. And it definitely, we've talked about the cherry pie. I suspect, I don't know this for sure, but this is just my surmise, or surmisation. That's not a fucking word. Whatever. I surmise that cherry pie is deeply important in basically all that ooey gooiness of all of his lines. Um, all the stuff we've
Except
talked about, gelatos, the freaking
the
uh,
absolute pinnacle of cookies.
uh,
Without cherry pie, we have no cookies, right?
pardon?
So
Your
without cherry pie,
supposition.
we
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like pinnacle. So if it's part of the staple of cookies, then it's going to be
Mm.
because all that other shit is based on cookies,
Mm.
gelatos, and sherbets, and
White runts and all of it. And they share that kind of ooey gooiness, basically, as you walk by. Like you almost don't even brush by it, and you get a little bit of that gooiness on it. Yeah.
all those cuts, all those exotic strains. They're all either got thin mints in them, or they got
Mm.
form. A lot of them got thin mints, right? So and then, but yeah, that's. I guess you can say like by the time they're at ice cream cake, like the lines are pretty darn worked. Because
Like your mom.
that cookies was like 2008, 9 or something they claim, but I didn't see it around until like 2012, 13.
Mm. I wouldn't be surprised if Bud is right. Bud Kilowatt has said many times, I think you've been on the show recently, when he said that he's sure he smoked weed like cookies way back when, basically, way before. He doesn't remember when, but maybe in the 80s, maybe in the freaking 70s even. I would be willing to bet that's true. I'd be willing to bet Gosh, all the chem, all the stuff that we regard so highly now, I bet you anything, people have smoked that stuff over the years. It's just funny how probably didn't go anywhere. It probably just sat in somebody's garage, and I don't know, maybe they made a killing off of it in their local town or something, but it never went anywhere.
That was the other thing. People didn't share cuts back in the day because that was your
Yeah.
money maker. You didn't want competition with the same cut because then they'd be competing with you against basically the same flower.
Hmm.
Fucking piece of shit torch has like a fucking
Como
valve leak.
Here's
So
by the way,
whoever
Smoke
bought
Sense. Make sure to email me, Smoke Sense. You won the gaffer tape, I think it was last night.
Smoke
So
Sensei. Sensei Media.
fumerolectronic.com. Let me talk for a sec, hardcore. Fumerolectronic.com, or you could email me or DM me on Discord, for example. If you have DM'd me on Instagram, I haven't seen it. So that's a good example of why Instagram is kind of garbage. So try fumerolectronic.com or Discord if you follow me on there. Jones said you gross in Black Soma Morgana's foxtails are frosting and plumping up. Day 56 bloom, and the Tiz Butter Scratch or day 42 bloom and dense and nicely frosted. I popped 4 Black Knights Delights, 5, 6, 24. Nice combo. Those are gonna be some nice ones, Jones. Black Soma Morgana again is basically the cherry black Morgana to the Coot Special. So definitely the most I was talking about how Morgana basically is still a hybrid. Well, that one definitely is going to be the most, narrow leaf of all the cultivars. The Coot Special is very dominant. It seems like at least the number 3 male is very dominant. I also bred some with the number 1 male. As a matter of fact, the Tisbutta Scratches, I believe, are the number 1 male. Anyway, and then I sent out a few, not even really testers. I think I just sent out a few packs here and there with the number 1 male. Anyway, he was, I want to say, more Thai leaning and also definitely more squat. The number 3 is, I think, more without having seen the actual individual Kerala's and ties, that were put into it. This is sort of my again, I surmise that that's how it is. But anyway, looking at visually, looking at Kerala online and stuff, basically looking at as many different Kerala examples as I could. Basically, that's what I came up with. Anyway, so the number
Your
3, I think,
supposition.
is more. What's that, hardcore?
Your supposition.
My supposition. There we go. That's a good way to put it. Again, though, as soon as I said that, I was like, "Oh, but I surmise with my supposition." Whatever. It's fucking ridiculous what I'm talking today. Fuck am I trying to say? I am trying to talk about the Black Soma Morgana, basically. Cherry Black Morgana, that's one of the 2 Morganas that I've kept all these years. I don't talk about it nearly enough. The Sour Morgana is the one that I've been basically talking about for ages and ages. And for some reason, Cherry Black has just been kind of in the back burner. The Cherry Black is this kind of smoky cherry, basically, as opposed to that sour cherry. They're very much on like sides of the same coin, kind of very interesting dynamic. And the cherry black Morgana rather is a little bit more colorful. It has a little bit more the sours tends to not be purple at all, and that smoky cherry seems to actually have some perps. So the cherry black is actually really unique in that it seems to be kind of mottled green and purple and has nice fall colors in the leaves. But then at some point, basically, and it's different every single harvest because I've had it for a few years now. Every single harvest, she just turns purple one night. Like basically, like not even really for cold or anything, but it takes a while. Sometimes it takes sometimes 9. Yeah, I think 9 weeks one time before she turned purple, so it can take a little while. But really interesting. I don't know, quirky genetics basically in there. I guess there's a switch that can be flipped. Anyway, I'm really curious about your guys' remarks about that one because I think it's going to be quite delightful. Smoke Sense was talking about, even Subcool talked about cookies being an older cut. Yeah.
Smoke Sensei. Sensei
there,
Media.
well, there was even I mean,
Why do I always say Smoke Sense? Smoke Cincy. That's probably exactly what it is. I thought it was like smoke scent, like I got smoke sense, bro. Like it knows what.
uh, yeah. No, like Joe Petrie, the guy that people make fun of, like he has said that like that was even around before cookies had it. I don't know. There's a lot of older people that
I
say
mean,
that. So
Joe Pietri created
he
it.
would be an interesting guy to get on this show, honestly. But I have to be frank, I feel like he's just 1,000% bullshitter. But how do I put this? Even with 1,000% bullshitter, there has to be grains of truth. Otherwise, you would just discount them as a crazy person. So
yeah, the
a
thing is,
person like him, even if he is making up half the story, probably half of it or more is legit. So yeah, I'd be willing to bet some of the stuff that he says, like he probably smoked weed like cookies and weed like chem and whatever else he probably says.
I don't know. It's like it's after reading his books, like I think he's probably 80% right, and then he embellishes on it like a lot of people.
Hmm.
You know, I'm not saying every story he says is correct, but I'm saying so, like as far as like going to Kathmandu and like doing all the, you know, hanging in Nepal and India and doing all his smuggling operations, like I'm pretty sure because he got busted on all that stuff, so it's all kind of public data.
Hmm.
But as far as ownership of strains, yeah, that's a whole other fucking. I don't believe that shit.
See, that's where I basically was thinking. I guess I haven't seen all the interviews. I guess he's been on Eagles like probably 10 times now. I've only seen, I think, maybe the first one, maybe. And Jesus H. Christ, if he wasn't the center of every single possible story, right? Like he was the originator of everything, basically. He created everything before anyone else created it. Like that's a sure sign that the person is making stuff up, right? But
Pretty sure he's the one
and how
that.
do I say it? Like I guess he does have a big history in whatever. Go ahead.
Pretty sure he's the one that fucked Jesus's mom. That
That's it.
But anyways, yeah, it's just I don't know. The thing too is like it was like that was black market, right? So it's like a lot of people are able to tell fishing stories that can't be proven one way or another. And
unless they were
yeah,
busted like the
it's kind of like fishing
saltwater
stories. So a lot
cowboy.
of people will say that.
Could maybe get the saltwater cowboy on here.
The who?
He's the largest
Oh,
marijuana
talk
smuggler
about
in
him, yeah.
American history.
That'd be cool.
I booked him on Eagles and on Chad Westport a while back.
Mhm. Might be fun.
Got his book right here. Says to my friend Ryan on the front page here. I won't show you that part.
Nice. The only problem is I don't know very much about people like that, right? So I don't really know the questions to ask them. So
Oh, with him, you just have to say, what was the first time you smoked weed? And then he'll be telling
and
you
he just
stories about
4 hours.
what what $1 million in cash, how much that weighs, and how much a fucking I don't know how many bales you can fit in a fucking 1,000 square feet of a house.
I think uh, I think Rex Montrose would be a really good guest if you can get him on. I didn't have enough subscribers for him to come on my show. He wanted at least 1,000. I have like 958.
Oh.
But he's from Oregon and he owns a trichome institute. And he's all about terpenes and he has a trichome wheel and like terps wheel and
Oh, I
whatever.
think
Like
I know who
check
that
out
is.
trichome. Yeah, Trichome Institute, and he's into like cactuses and stuff. He's got
Oh
tons
yeah,
of
yeah. I
exotic.
know him then. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did I
but he's in
interview him
Oregon.
before or no? From Institute.
It'd be cool to hang out with fucking that crime pays with botany doesn't even know he's not a pothead.
Supposedly he is, but he can't really talk about it publicly.
Well, like I think um I talked to him for a little bit on some DMs back when I had those Amish girls trimming for me, or when my buddy did, and fucking he said he just doesn't really care for weed that much. He wanted me to send him some CBD for his dog, but I said
Hmm.
it'd be cheaper for him just to buy some there for what fucking uh, to get it to him. But I don't know.
Apparently my internet doesn't work or something. I'm trying to search for Trichome Institute and just like forever. Oh, look at that. North Star's coming.
Have you seen that shit that I've shared a couple times about fucking that company that just makes straight trichomes? They grow trichomes in petri dishes.
Yeah, I think you've shown it off. Gosh, there's some scary technology coming up. What's going on, North Star? Cheers. Welcome. What was I going to say? Crazy story just a couple days ago. Where was it? Maybe I can find it here real quick. Uh, I saw on Reddit about basically, if I can summarize it, so they didn't describe the technology, but a new technology for plant breeding that does not involve any kind of CRISPR or anything else. It involves some kind of process that you are able to pass on the exact copy of the genetics of the mother and the father. So basically, instead of assembling them basically through mating or whatever else, supposedly they're able to pass on exact copies into the progeny, which would be way faster.
They would need to come on the show with that magic and tell us about it.
Yeah, right. Oh, these people are fucking Wall Street dickheads. One of the reasons why I think it probably is garbage is that it sounds very much like a, you know,
The guy
Wall
that
Street proof of concept kind of thing.
the guy that runs that Colorado CBD, he's pretty knowledgeable on polyploids.
Well, pop some
Talking about
toy.
Oregon CBD or
Yeah, or triploids, to be specific, but they play with all sorts of polyploidy.
uh, basically they were talking about this was a managed
Yeah,
ploidy,
They'll talk.
apparently.
I
Nothing
think that
else.
Rex guy would
So,
be really good though. Like, he's pretty sciencey too.
or there's a guy that's um George Weeblin or Dr. George Weeblin. He's a fucking professor at the University of Minnesota, and he's had a fucking him and his lab or whatever have had a DEA license to study marijuana since like the early 90s, and they've been they go around and they find wild hemp stands and shit, and then they fucking crossbreed it with high THC marijuana apparently. I'm guessing we won't see the results of that until fucking the national legalization. But they've been doing it. They've been fucking bunch of nerds in his lab have been crossing strains. Probably for DuPont or some shit. Or Pioneer, whoever runs the seed business now.
oh, before we talk about this, let's say hello to North Star. What's going on, Joel?
How's it going?
You're doing all right. What's good with you?
Not too much here. Trying to get my had to go outside here because the signal's so crappy. It's kind of hot
Mm,
out past couple days. I don't know if that's affecting the towers out here or something, but
mm,
just trying to get my audio up a little louder so I can hear better. We're all good.
right on.
I think
Nah,
humidor might
just
have been roboting.
chilling, man. Got done harvesting the greenhouse. I got another one starting this weekend, and it's the season.
Right on. Were we saying hardcore?
I think he might have been roboting a little bit earlier.
Oh,
Could
me?
have been my connection too, though. I don't know.
Oh, it definitely could have been me too. That's the most frustrating thing about internet these days. And then of course, you don't know. I wish there was a signal sign or something basically like would, when you were sharing, for example, it'd be nice to be able to see like, oh, your signal strength is good or whatever.
There is an
Anyway,
upper left corner.
what's that
There's
for?
a, there is in the upper left corner a little tiny one.
Yeah, but when you share, there isn't anymore. Oh, I guess there is right in the middle of the screen, but then when you basically go, it's not worth describing it. But yeah, there is like a little tiny signal here that shows. Actually, all it says is that I'm broadcasting. It doesn't actually say the signal strength.
Oh, for us, it
Really,
shows
really
upper
nice.
left. There's a little one that like 3 arrows. Like,
When I'm sharing, I have no idea. That's kind of annoying. Anyway, so but this is according to Ag Thunder News. I don't read this daily. I just saw it on Reddit. Anyway, armed with $100 million in funding, Dave Friedberg unveils so-called boosted breeding tech at Ohio in holy shit moment for crop breeders. So that kind of amused me that they basically swore in this article a couple times. Normally, in the New York Times or something, they wouldn't say "holy shit." So it's by Elaine Watson, who apparently is really shocked about the awesomeness of this. So she says, it's one thing knowing that two different plants each have genes conferring specific traits of interest, says Ohalo CEO Dave Friedberg. The problem is that when you crossbreed them, a random 50% of genes from each parent transfer to their offspring, which means the whole endeavor remains a crapshoot. With
That's the fun part.
Pardon?
That's the fun part of it.
Well, that's my argument, that basically you get a little bit of a variety, but I guess in terms of ag, they want a field of the same thing, right? So I guess for them, any kind of variety would not be good. So they say with traditional crossbreeding methods, it may never happen that you get all the good genes together in one plant to make it both disease resistant and drought resistant. For example, you have to get lucky to be successful. We hear this kind of stuff on Mac crosses, for example, all the time. They get this, they don't get that, they don't even get any seeds, on and on and on.
Mac, not a triploid, by the way. Just throw that out there.
Mac is not a triploid?
No.
Oh, people have said that it is. How do you know
that
it's not?
I can't remember where I heard it from, but they said scientifically that nope.
I
Not a triploid.
I gotta tell you what, when I hear about all this, the high-tech breeding, it makes me think like, what kind of commercial crop has been bred for uniformity that's so freaking good that people like? I mean, usually it's the more heirloom type variety of thing, or something that's been selected individually. It's not such a mass produced
corn and soybeans that are in
the good
everything
stuff.
you eat.
I mean,
or the corn and soybeans that everything I eat.
Go ahead, Arcor. What's that?
Say the corn and soybeans that are in everything I eat.
Yeah, but that's all grown for production. That's not a high quality corn that you'd grow in your backyard for high flavor or stuff like that. It's more of a disease resistant conducting for mass crops.
Well, that's the thing. I was just going to say, basically, one of the biggest paradoxes, one of the reasons why all the vegetables in the grocery store taste so bland is not only that they pick them very green so that they can ship them, but they also breed them deliberately to be bland and uninteresting so that they can ship and sell more quickly, basically. The velocity of the entire product can be faster. They don't really give a shit if you like the jalapenos. So jalapenos now are not spicy because we've talked about this, they breed the jalapenos primarily for the restaurant, salsa, et cetera, companies. They don't give a shit about the consumer market. And the big companies, they can always add heat extract, basically capsaicin, and basically make it more spicy. So if they have an unspicy jalapeno, that makes it easier to ship, package, everything. Bland tomatoes that basically hold up for 3 weeks instead of tasting like anything. That's better for them. Am I roboting?
I'll say tomatoes are a great example of that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's really kind of disturbing, when you think about it, because you never really encounter somebody says, oh yeah, my grocery store has excellent tomatoes. Like, it's pretty much a fact of life that the grocery store never has good tomatoes for any price. Like, I never see heirloom tomatoes for less than $5 a pound. $5 a pound is a fairly expensive vegetable. And yet you can never find a truly good heirloom tomato, not even really like a mediocre heirloom tomato. They're okay. You know what I mean? They taste like a tomato when you actually go through the process and spend $5, $6, $7 for a fucking tomato. But the ones that you grow in your backyard, even with mediocre seeds, like seriously, I've had tomatoes that grew from compost seeds, and they clearly were probably like a production tomato, basically, that was, harvested, I don't know, for McDonald's or whatever, but they would grow in my backyard and they would be delicious, wonderful tomatoes. Where am I going? Pardon? Go ahead, Arthur. Oh, don't talk. Now I don't know where I was going with that.
You're saying that probably production tomato.
Maybe it's good. It's actually grown with some good organic nutrients, and not just big crop filled of whatever the cheapest fertilizer they can throw down is.
I think about that actually sometimes because the flavors in vegetables basically are vitamins that our body is perceiving as nutrients, right? Like they say, for example, that Gatorade these days tastes a lot different. It's a lot sweeter and stuff. But way back when, Gatorade was kind of disgusting. But apparently, when you were we're losing like everybody right and left. When you're depleted, basically, when you've just worked out and you try Gatorade, it apparently tastes quite nice. It's been a while since I've had Gatorade, but I hear this all the time that basically when you know, just worked out or something, Gatorade tastes amazing because your body perceives that it needs all those different weird sodiums and everything else. Um, Same thing with vegetables, basically. As you're tasting a tomato or a carrot or a freaking jalapeno or whatever else, and you taste all the little components, it's very much like weed. Those components don't come from nowhere. They come from all the different flavonoids and everything, basically, in the vegetable that are themselves the vitamins that we're eating, basically. All the amino acids and vitamins, everything that we need in our food comes from those things. So when the food tastes extremely bland, I wonder, are there any useful vitamins to speak of? I mean, there's fiber, I guess, and there's probably other stuff. It's not
Yeah.
useless food, but I mean, like seriously, a tomato that has no flavor, is that anything close to a tomato that is flavorful in terms of nutritional value? I'm honestly curious. I don't know the answer to this, but I'm really curious.
Yeah, it's got to
Well,
be the
I would
input.
assume not. I would think that's part of the reason why so much society they need to have supplemental vitamins and everything else because the food we're getting is so not dense in nutrients these days. The soil and the ground has been sapped over the past however many years of commercial farming. We're just
Yep.
not getting the good stuff anymore.
Yep.
You really got to grow some of your own.
Absolutely. I'm curious if anybody in the chat basically is, let's say, a nutritionist or something. Is it something I've wondered about before and never really stopped and thought about asking? Actually, that'd be another great person maybe to talk to. Maybe like I wonder what we would ask him. I'm thinking about maybe talking to a nutritionist about this kind of stuff. Like, wouldn't it be interesting maybe to have a nutritionist on a show like this and ask them, hey, is there a benefit to organic? Is there a benefit to vegetables that taste like something? You know, we always talk about cannabis with flavor and everything, but we're not actually eating it for the most part. But I don't know, just in a kind of abstract sense, as we learn to garden cannabis, we generally start to garden other things too. So all of us are like pepper and everything else growers, right? So anyway, it'd be interesting to talk to somebody like that.
They say an anticyanogen is like a free radical remover, and like
Anthocyanin.
yeah, anticyanogen, yeah, and like so I don't know.
Uh,
I imagine
uh, Major antioxidant, I guess. Yeah.
any of the purple plants we eat, right? It's high in anticyanogen, so that's supposed to be like anti-aging, free radical remover, supposedly. I mean, I have to say
What's
allegedly,
in
I
that
guess.
purple drink?
No, that purple drink I think is like yeah, that's a different story.
They get it from like a beaver's ass or something?
Purple drink is what, Sudafed and grape juice or some shit.
No, it's the stuff in that the purple
Promethazine and
stuff from
codeine.
the Sunny D commercial. You know, everyone's like,
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they're using. I think this promethazine and codeine is what they're using to make it like the syrup, right? And then they
the
put it
scissor.
in
Sipping on
the
some scissor. Sipping on some scissor.
like. I was at Rite Aid last month, and they had a sign printed up that we no longer prescribe promethazine and codeine. I was like, that's crazy. I can see the promethazine, but codeine, like, that's pretty common, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, Tylenol 3.
Yeah, but were they getting straight codeine, or were they like? Because Tylenol would have like a mixture of like acetaminophen in it.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't know. I've never done lean before. That's never been on my radar to want to do. Just heard about it in, Underground King's song, UGK, MC.
Making stupid peer jokes in the chat here. What's going on, everyone in the chat? Grant's in the house. Rory, welcome. Haven't seen you in a bit. Who else is in here? I'm sure. Oh, Small Tubes is hanging with us. What's going on, Small Tubes? CTC.
I haven't seen that
No, we
name,
have
heard that
not
name
been
in a
on
while.
since last night, but your mama has. Who else? Old School's in the house. Welcome, buddy. Welcome,
What
everyone.
about where's D? What talk about the elephant in the room?
He is, I guess, at a beach house or something, or a friend of his, or his sister's sister, or something like that. And they have
He's
just
living a high life.
so he's living it
Come
up.
back
Probably
clean
eating fresh
shaven and
grains by
wearing a
the
suit.
river. What's that?
I'm gonna
Come back on here.
start some purgatory up today. Throw some of these.
Oh, right on.
Big germ.
Oh, nice.
One of Joel's creation.
Nice. That'll be fun.
Glad they're still popping. They're from like 2016, I think.
Hmm.
I think the last batch I made them in 2016 or so.
Freaking garbage trucks keep beeping, beeping, beeping.
Is the Quirkle more dominant in that one?
Is the Quirkle more dominant?
Yeah.
You know what? I've never run any of the Purgatory out. I really don't know what would be in those. I'm assuming based on how most of the stuff health seems to be pretty dominant in a lot of the crosses I've crossed with it. So I would assume you're going to get a solid dose of that in there, regardless of how strong the Quirkle is. But the Quirkle does seem to have some heavy influence in the height and shape of the plant for sure. Most of the crosses Quirkle comes in with, so I would assume there'll be a happy medium somewhere, maybe less OG stretch and still a lot of OG bud set type.
Yeah, if I can get purple style OG buds, that'd be fucking fantastic. It's have that Quirkle flavor. Have you grown Quirkle much, Humidor? Or any Quirkle crosses?
I think you
Yeah, I
might
don't
have
got a lot of purple stuff myself
Never had a
right
chance.
now at all. I'm going to be loading some Dark Desire in the greenhouse.
I had some ultra.
Seed stock. I don't have a lot of seed stuff that I've been growing lately. It's been purple.
I grew some ultraviolet phenotype of blueberry muffin from Agnes Beckett that was pretty fucking dark. My Cheryl gets dark as fuck too. She's almost black. Some of them.
Nice.
I haven't popped any of those this year though. I don't know if I'm going to or not. Kind of want to start them in the way at the beginning of the year.
If nothing else, those plants are just so fun to look at. Black
They're
leaves.
fun to play with. I like doing weird shit with them.
Are you gonna do that swamp thing again with all the creatures and like we were watching the whole, I don't know, for months there? It was like
Probably not this year. I might. Maybe, probably not.
Yeah.
This year's probably gonna be like to show you how to ghetto a grow in a tight spot. Like for instance,
Ghetto aggro.
Ghetto.
You mean like throw it together for no money?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got 300 seeds fucking germinating right next to me here.
Are they going to grow indoors or outdoors?
Yes.
Right on. Do you have any specific lines you're looking forward to?
The blueberry muffin, I want to get in that some more. But there's I got a bunch of that, bunch of just like open pollination basically from all the shit I grew last year. And then I got like a bunch of Triangle Kush by Blueberry Muffin. And there's some Sky Jarro by Cherry West. There's some Blueberry Fritter. And then there's a bunch of blueberry different.
That's cool. By the way, folks, there's no good time to introduce this because the show is sort of winding down. So might as well just start now. Let's do a giveaway. I'm going to give away the pack of Sour Morgana that I was going to give away last night, but we didn't give away last night, so we'll give it away today. If you guys don't know what Sour Morgana is, it's something that I made. It's basically Morgana by Black Prince Ruby. More specifically, it's the Sour Morgana phenotype that I talk about. It's technically a Morgana prototype from a few years ago. And then basically I rebred that with the brother, basically the original father. And so all the Morganas that you guys have basically talked or had and grown and so on and so forth come from basically that brother. The Sour Morgana was the original. That's confusing as mud, I'm sure, by now. But anyway, one of the original Morganas, that's all that really matters. Crossed to the Black Prince Ruby, which basically is the sort of strawberry inbred line of the Ruby Jack. If you guys have heard me talking about Ruby Jack for a long time, I haven't worked the grapefruit line that much for a few years, but the Black Prince Ruby line was that kind of strawberry side of it. And so the Sour Morgana actually hasn't really gotten a lot of the strawberry from the Black Prince Ruby, but it got some really lovely structure. The Ruby Jacks have always been short finishing, really stout, really resistant to pests, pathogens, you name it, spider mites, et cetera, et cetera. So Sour Morgana is quite resistant to spider mites, light leaks, drought tolerance, da 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 da. She's PM resistant, actually, which is something that I can't say for the original Sour Morgana. The mom, she is a little bit powdery mildew prone. The Black Prince Ruby seems to have actually, I've probably not solved it because you can't solve it in one generation, but the new generation, basically, I didn't have any issues with powdery mildew. So anyway, really a big fan of the Sour Morgana. You're going to be hearing me talk about the Sour Morgana #3 probably, and I have a couple other ones too that I might work with. But you could find your own awesome frickin' Sour Morgana to work at your own line, basically from a pack of these. I always think that breeders that keep stuff, off to the side for themselves are kind of dishonest. I think you should be able to pick out anything the breeder should. You should be able to pick out something better, honestly. Otherwise, they're wasting your time. So anyway, long story short, you have a chance of picking out something better than the Morgana that I like from Sour Morgana. All you have to do is say something in the chat in the next couple of minutes or so. It's 12:53. Let's call it at, I don't know, 12:56 or something. It's a weird number, but we'll call it then. So just say something in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Be active, say hello. God forbid, say hello to other people in the chat, make yourself known, basically. And I'll pull the list in a couple of minutes and we'll do a duck race and give away a pack of seeds. Anyway, back to the conversation.
Kind of Morgana do I have?
I don't remember. What did I send you? I don't remember.
Sent me like the whole library.
Oh, well, then I probably
damn near
sent
the
you.
whole library.
¿Dónde es biblioteca?
No, I actually popped some of the Morgana back then, but I had a situation where some people were expecting a house, so I had to do some stuff, so I don't have that. But I want to pop it again.
I think I gave you one of the original Morganas. Yeah. I'm not sure, but I think
I should try popping a couple of those then.
do it. I dare you.
Well, I'm just if I can, you say I can get strawberry out of that?
The Sour Morgana is more on the cherry, definitely more. There's some kind of berry-ish stuff, but I would say the pure strawberry, not so much necessarily. Morgana V2, probably a little bit more. I've heard quite a bit more about like berry Morgana, sort of. So maybe a strawberry out of that. If you want strawberry, you'd want the Black Prince Ruby or that Black Knight's Delight, basically, that I sent out. I'd be happy to send you one of those. The Black Knight's Delight is the selected Black Prince Ruby, basically out of, I don't know, like 100 Black Prince Rubies. I selected this really like strawberry jam, basically, and it has this very interesting like linen kind of aroma. Anyway, and I crossed that to the Coot Special #3, so that I think is going to be really nice. And then, of course, if you really just want strawberry, strawberry jelly, the Black Prince Ruby. Where's the fucking duck race game?
Yeah, I know. I'd like something that's like, really strawberry. But yeah,
people always say, and it's not just in my imagination. It's not like, oh, I detect hints of strawberry. Like I've been walking around with a friend of mine, and I'll just, I'll roll up a joint and buy Black Prince Ruby, and I'll just have it in my ear as we're walking somewhere where it's more convenient to smoke. She's like, oh, it smells like strawberries. Someone who's not like a weed person. Or what smells like strawberries? Like you leave it on the table, you leave a nug on the table, and it's like, oh, something smells like fresh strawberries. So anyway, It's not a subtle aroma.
Flora, I can send you some. I can send you some zinger too. That's a sour strawberry times space
There you
too. That
go.
would be some good strawberry terps in that one for sure.
That would be
That'd be-
nice.
That'd be cool compared to both of
I
them.
got that. I can send you a fat packet of them to play with.
I was just actually, I've even completely forgot. One of my favorite things I've ever grown was from Joel, the Bedrock Boogie, and it was the sour strawberry by his Grand Poobah. It was absolutely fantastic. So that bog sour strawberry was wonderful, and Joel crossed it to some lovely things.
Is that part of the Grand Poobah, or is that across the Grand Poobah?
The Grand Poobah was like a
Cross the
Bubba
Grand
Kush kind of back cross, wasn't it?
Bubba Purple Mayhem.
Huh.
So the pre-98 Bubba times Purple Mayhem, which is basically a Dark Desire back cross from Gooey Breeder.
No chocolate came out. Having the Bubba in there, there's no chocolate.
I mean, it was basically more of a squatter structure. It kind of just chunked up the sour strawberry bud and everything. I found quite a few of the Bubba crosses I've done that it seems to actually amplify some of the fruit flavors and things sometimes, as opposed to having like a call. I don't know whether it helps amplify the flavor of it, like some of like the cushy melony back notes and like the stuff like that you get in the cushy flavors, if that amplifies it. But I don't really get any of the coffee coming through of anything I've of those seed jet or coffee or chocolate or anything like that. I even
What
had
about
the what was it? I mean, the Bubba Kush times Calio times Alcatraz, and I had one of the fruitiest things ever came out of it. I was not expecting it to be as fruity as it was. It was just like a straight up punch.
Interesting.
I don't know. I said the Bubba seemed to amplify the fruitiness of something, or if it's not dominant, it kind of amplifies whatever else it's in. I don't know. I've seen a lot of really fruity stuff come from Bubba crosses. And then if you were to cross the Bubba with something more like an OG, then you get more of the chocolate cushy that kind of doubles down on those flavors. Then it seems to bring it out more.
Yeah. Oh, there he's gone. He'll be back. His internet is terrible, worse than mine. I don't know how it
hit the bell. Good luck, everybody.
It's kind of strange though that like in 2024 we all have this like really terrible internet, but around back in like 2005 we had great internet. Like a lot of us, I don't know, it's pretty reliable. Like my old DSL, that shit never went down. I don't know if you ever had DSL. Feeling.
No, really, no. I basically went from dial-up. When I was a kid, I had dial-up, and then basically moved to Portland a long time ago and got pretty much broadband internet, I guess. One version of it, one version or another. Never really had fiber optics until somewhat recently. Now, basically, I guess I have fiber optics, but we don't really have the speed of fiber optics that everyone talks about, gigabit per second. We have more like, I don't know, 50 megabit per second, something like that. Sometimes it'll be 100, but normally it's not.
That's still pretty fast.
It's pretty fast. Yeah, it could be a lot worse.
Did you ever figure out
folks?
The HD broadcasting scenario? Like, is it just going
No,
to cost
not
more?
really. I kind of gave up. Basically, I have to, which I have to do anyway, honestly. I have to get back on Streamlabs and finally figure that out because Zoom is okay, but it's very limiting, right? And because of the HD issue, that's a big one right there. So the only way to easily fix that basically is, or inexpensively and easily fix that, is to start with like Streamlabs or something like that. But I just haven't bothered.
So the thing with that
But yeah,
is,
it's an annoying issue. I'm actually surprised that Zoom is still doing it. Pardon?
so I've played around with Streamlabs and OBS quite a bit. And the annoying thing is that there's like these plugins and stuff you can get, but to add guests, right? Because like when you add a guest like on here, it's like it's all hosted by Zoom, right? So everybody just logs in with the Zoom interface. It's really easy, but having guests on Streamlabs seems to be somewhat challenging so far. But I've got it to work, but it's not as good as this. like this has like buffering and stuff depending on the speed of the internet, and like there's a lot of advanced stuff going on with Zoom.
Holy cannoli! Look at that. We're all the way in the back. Operation Congrats, Operation.
That's because he's number 7. That's because he's number 7. 7's the best number. Gonna win.
All right, Operation. Email me, fumidor@chronictable.com. DM me on Discord if you are on our Discord. If you're not on the Discord, say something in the chat and we can give you a link. Or basically the last option is DM me on Instagram, because sometimes I just don't see that message. So that would be really anyway. Congrats, buddy. I think you're gonna enjoy it.
Have you made a map and like put pins on it to all the places that you know and verify they're growing your stuff?
No, but I need to. That's a great idea. That's a great North Star. Have you ever done that? Like
Sounds fun now.
Yeah, right. Seriously, because I've definitely sent a packs, and well, allegedly, I know people have grown in Australia. I've definitely sent packs to South Africa. I don't know if anyone's grown there. Europe, a few different places, right? All over
Yeah, I've been
not so South America.
Hungary, Germany, UK, France, Australia. I mean,
awesome.
all over freaking place. So that would be kind of cool, actually.
That's great.
Yeah, the ones that you probably would be, it's like the Middle East and Asian countries, probably the rare ones, except for Thailand.
I've shipped to Japan and I've shipped to Israel.
Huh.
Yeah, I think
that's it.
Israel has some rudimentary medical, don't they, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically, I think it's essentially decriminalized, and it's also medically legal there. It's a weird situation though, because I guess they have, like, right across the street from the hotel that I was at was basically like a ready to go dispensary that was just not open. And nobody on the street knew anything about what was going on, but they just basically built this place. They kept the lights on and everything, but it was all boarded up because there was like a printed, not even like a whatever, but just like a printed sign from a copy machine that said, "We're looking for a pharmacist." But apparently they'd been looking for a pharmacist for, I don't know, 6 months or 8 months or something. Nobody remembered how long that store had been there, like for a while. And they just apparently were waiting for a pharmacist. So I guess it's kind of legal limbo. Basically, that was a great way to describe to me, like, okay, this is a country in legal limbo, basically. Anyway.
I wonder if the pharmacists don't want to do it because it's like somewhat not fully legal, or
I bet that's what it is. Like basically, I have a doctor friend who has absolutely no problem with weed or anything. She's not personally a big weed user or anything, but every once in a while she'll tell me about how she and her mom, take some edibles or something, just have a great time. But she's not willing to talk about weed in her practice. She's not willing to prescribe it. She's not willing to really interact with it at all because A, it's not legal. B, there's no studies involved, and C, all the confusion about it would potentially put her in jeopardy with both the, what do they call it? What do they call the certification for doctors? The American Medical Association or whatever, and then also her malpractice insurance she's really scared of. So that keeps basically people like that from talking about it. I imagine that pharmacists are a lot the same, because pharmacists kind of control the power of life and death basically with the medicine. So I imagine their liability and stuff is pretty high. I don't know if someone in the chat knows, please let us know. It's just my I surmise that's the case.
It makes sense.
Cheers, Keeper. Cheers, Couch. Couch is in the house. What's going on, Couch? Who else in here? Jason online, stuck between hardcore Couch. Big Terp is in the house. What's going on, Big Terp? Good to see you, buddy. Anyway. Well, what do you think, gentlemen? Any exciting projects? Anything coming up, Flora? Oh, by the way, Flora, did you tell us what the mail was for your last harvest? You said you had already forgetting a couple of the females. You had the ice cream cake and you had something else in there, but did you tell us what the mail was?
no, I did not. So it's a rosé cross to my gelato OGF2, which is gelato 41 cross to Leroy OGF2. So it's like It's not gassy at all. It's a creamy OG. It's like
Interesting.
when you, yeah, like if you want some of those, I'll send you some. But yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
creamy OG. It's like not gassy at all. Like really pleasant. You know, it's like it's not a downer weed. It's more like a upper creative weed. But it doesn't grow like a sativa. It grows more like an indica.
Hmm.
Kind of weird.
Nice.
One of those, but creamy OG. You know, you don't hear creamy OG a lot. But yeah,
That'd be great.
rosé.
I mean, a creamy, like, what, cream soda? I mean, describe it a bit, or like buttercream, or what do you mean?
Creamy like not like cream soda. I guess no, like you know, like the cream that you get out of the Cool Whip kind of stuff, kind of
Huh.
cream.
Kind of like a whipped dairy cream. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
like what you put in a coffee.
Huh.
Okay, cool.
That'd be great with fruit flavors and stuff, right? You could have some really amazing dessert kind of combinations there. Wouldn't that be stunning? Huh.
But so I added the rosé on there, and that kind of like I don't know, you can get some kind of rose flavor sometimes out of that, kind of like creamy rose. But adding the ice cream cake, I'm not sure because that's what wedding cake and gelato, and that's already in the lineage. So I don't know what that's gonna do. We'll see. So I'm gonna have to have to find some testers that don't suck and have them grow that stuff out, and I'm gonna grow some myself as well because testing myself feels like I can trust my results. When people tell you like, you know, your strain tastes like mustard, and it's like a fucking strawberry gas, Laceris, like that was sort of weird to me. But
Hmm.
I understand we all have different palates.
It's interesting. I was going to say, I think you're going to actually, even though they are very similar, I'm just sort of trying to visualize it. I think that ice cream cake is going to be a nice cross because it has a little bit different morphology than those kind of runts gelato crosses. It's not as like kind of, what do you call that? Like not a golf ball, but like a torpedo or something,
They
like a
were
little
they
torpedo on the thing. It's not quite like that shape. It's
were,
more
they were good
resistant to stuff. Pardon?
they were good sized nugs and they were super frosty on that ice cream cake.
Yeah, but they're a different shape, right? Like, how do you describe that shape? I don't know exactly. Um, and it has more of a tendency to be a little bit more leafy. I mean, it's not larvae at all. It's still very dense and packed with trichomes and stuff, got frost rails and stuff, but it has a little bit more leafy morphology as opposed to that kind of compact gelato. And like I say, it's way more resistant to stuff. Like the gelatos and the white runts and stuff are not really the most. White runts is okay, but the gelatos, they're really not resistant to much of anything, I don't think. Not to bugs, not to even really being rained on. I had a gelato something or other cross at a friend of mine's last year, and it basically got rained on, and that's all that happened, and it just fell apart basically. Um,
Yeah.
I don't remember which. Pardon? Oh, Joel said he
Nah,
said,
that sucks. Just
yeah,
a rain shouldn't destroy your whole crop.
seriously, right? This is the crappy plant, yeah.
Uh,
You Joel, do you have I guess you have form cut, but do you have any cookies, stuff, gelatos or
only,
sherbets?
only the form cookies.
None of that stuff stayed away
I,
from
I
it.
had wedding cake for a while. I mean, frankly, wedding cake was great for the greenhouse. It produced lots of big buds, but I mean, for myself, it kind of was like made me lazy, tired, and very hungry when I smoked it. That's not what I'm looking for every time I smoke. I mean, that's fine late in the evening, but when it comes down to it, I have Mac One too. I prefer Mac One over wedding cake when it comes to something that wants to make me kind of feel lazy, floaty, and hungry. I'll just smoke that. So yeah, the only thing I really have is cookies. I'm sure it's cookies is the form cookies. Mac One is what cookie cross with Starfighter or some shit, Miracle
Columbia.
Airlines, something like that. I forget.
Oh, that's cookies and cream, I think. Actually, probably my favorite cookies cross to this day, at least of stuff that I've grown and smoked, was that cookies and cream. I guess Exotic Mike, I think, and it was the forum cut cookies to Starfighter. It was really lovely. Yeah, a little bit spicy. Super nice. Grant, what you're saying.
So yeah, that's all I got going for that. Uh, I can't honestly. I probably not gonna be doing much work with it. And, really focusing on just some more Colombian-based Central American sativa stuff, older stuff like that I'm working with for the next few runs here. I was going to do some work with some of the TGA stuff that I had popped. All the male plants, I took cuts off of them after revegging them, and even the clones after them. Once they start getting root bound, they instantly want to go in the flower. And it's just, I think it comes from the space is the same thing. So I'm getting right. I got rid of them. I have one left. I have lemon Stilton still, and that's starting to throw off flowers too. So I'm going to toss that out. So I'm scrapping those projects. Not going to bother with them. And right now, I guess I'm testing my 1985 run that I made last year. That's the UK cheese crossed with Golden Child, which is Highland Oaxacan crossed with Colombian. I'm super happy with how that mail came out. I only did a one time deal with it. So I don't have the mail anymore. I just used it once to see how it was. It was a small selection from the first seed stock that I had there, and it's mail is really dominant. Even purple, even Dark Desire, not one purple pheno out of it. That thing usually dominates. So it's all coming through all green and all super crusty, crunchy, crystally. I really like the way it comes out. So I started a few of them now. All of them pretty consistent when it comes to no coloration, all green, all frosty. So I'll probably play with some more of that in the future. I'm gonna go through my seeds. Like I said, I did one small seed run last fall, so I'm gonna go through my stock there and get some more started. Do a bigger seed run to do a seed increase on those. And hopefully have them available for the following year sometime coming up. It'd be a lot of fun too. And yeah, I'm actually right now nothing at all going indoor other than the bedroom. I'm breaking everything down, trying to actually minimize my property here so I can do property work. I want to get my house sold and move.
I wish I could find the story. I thought it was from Lou Gomez who watches the show, but it might have been from somebody else. You reminded me with the Colombian and a few other things you just mentioned. Somebody was talking about I thought it was Lugo. Anyway, they were talking about, I think, landrace Colombian, and I guess there's some controversy because people are saying, oh, where did those land races come from? And I think they were basically saying that the land races, so the controversy, I think, was that people were trying to say that the South American land races were actually Afghans that had been brought to South America. And the South Americans, I think, were not very happy about that idea because they said, hey, we brought those probably from Africa or something else. Anyway, I guess I can't find the article, so I can't remember what the specific controversy was. But what do you think about that, North Star? What do you think if you had to guess? Obviously, we don't know, but...
I'm not seeing Afghan in the Colombian plants at all. I don't think that's true. It seems to me like it's more of by the morphology, I would figure it's more of like some kind of African or Thai that might have been acclimatized over there over the years. As far as now, my Oaxacan, that to me seems very reminiscent of Indian bud that I have. Flavor wise and growth structure seems more of an Indian subcontinent type. So I mean, I'm sure somewhere. I mean, everything came from the Middle East area originally, I believe, and the Kush Mountains up and all through that area. A lot of the cannabis did originally, so it migrated from there originally. It comes down to how they get here. Did it come over tens of thousands of years ago across the land bridge with Native Americans coming down, bringing stuff from them all the way down to South America, and it's been acclimatized for tens of thousands of years, or did it come over with Spanish explorers coming over, bringing stuff with them? Or did it come over with the hippies in the 60s? I mean, it depends on when the plants made their journey over, or the seeds made their journey over, and started to how much resemblance you're going to have to the place it started from, I guess. I mean, if it came from Afghanistan, but it came from Afghanistan 10,000 years ago, then they might look way different now, but it could still be from the same genome originally. You just wouldn't recognize it at all. If it came from the 60s Afghan, it would not going to look the same as the Colombian does now. It's going to be more Afghan looking still more squat and everything for sure. Not going to change that quick.
How long does something have to be somewhere to be a landrace? Like if it's been there for 10,000 years, is it a landrace now to that area, or is it?
I don't know what the technical answer to that would be for sure, but I mean, at some point it has to. It's going to look different. It's going to come up. It's going to show up different in the DNA of the plant somewhere. I'm not sure how long it takes for that to actually happen. If it's 10 generations, 20 generations, or 200 generations.
Yeah.
I mean, the reality of it is, isn't every single land race actually something that is endemic to the environment but has been selected by people? Because basically, my understanding, so this is part of the question, my understanding is when you release a genetic stock of cannabis and just leave it there, it essentially very quickly reverts to hemp type because they have the plants have no interest basically in the drug type cannabis. They would rather grow basically big and strong and fast and stuff. And the recessive, essentially drug type, gets knocked out basically of the dominance. Basically, it's still there genetically, it's still there, but the overall population reverts to hemp. So for it to continue to be drug type, I feel like it has to continually be selected for drug type. Am I way off on that?
Yeah, I think it has. No, I think it needs to be selected for sure. Otherwise, it actually turns into this wild hemp.
And so that's the thing. Basically, every land race has people involved. It's not like a wild population. You know what I mean? It's not to say that you couldn't find wild drug type cannabis, but you're more likely to find wild hemp type. Like when, unfortunately, Ryan's not here right now, but he's driving around, the Midwest. He finds, wild cannabis all the time, but it's 99% of the time it's hemp. It's not. It's
It's
not
be
going to get
like
you high.
apples. It's like finding apples growing out in the middle of the woods somewhere. They're probably crab apples, taste like shit. They're probably just some seed that some bird shit out, and not actually bread.
And just imagine that one apple tree out of freaking 10,000. That's actually wonderful. What's that, Flora?
I was saying maybe it was pterodactyls that brought the seeds from the different continents.
That's the real secret to find. It's like civet coffee, pterodactyl cannabis seeds out the butt of a pterodactyl. And see what happens to the duck poo cannabis. We'll see. Anybody who wants to try that, go ahead and let us know.
And I often wonder too, with when it comes to indica sativa variety, you could be in a location, for instance, like Central America or South America, where generally you consider like the lowland varieties in the jungles to be more sativa. They're long, stretchy, big plants reaching up for light. But at the top of that mountain, you have the highland varieties, which are typically shorter and squatter. They don't need to reach up to as much canopy as they like, but they're usually considered indicas. But you could basically have almost the same plant in the same location that some of them they're growing down the jungle and other ones growing up on the hill. Over time would just revert to their specific genotype there. Would go to more of a indica genotype up on the hilltop, and then the same seeds down the valley after so many generations would have to stretch up and reach to be able to survive. So they'd be more sativa looking.
Because they always say the phenotype is the genotype plus the environmental circumstances, right? How it was basically grown.
It's only the phenos that show the sativa would really thrive in the jungle, and likewise, the other ones would be probably be getting wind whipped and everything else from being tall and lanky up on top of the hill. So the indica genotype would be the ones that the phenotype expressions would be the one that survive better.
Even just you're going to probably have less. I would assume you'll have less water up at the top of the hill too. So those long lanky plants will have trouble pulling up water all the way to the top of the plant. So they'd have to grow squatter. It's very interesting, actually. Yeah, absolutely right.
Leaves are gonna probably want to be it's changed too, because if it was depending on humidity, right? So if it's high humidity, you're not gonna want the big leaves. Thinner leaves they can dry out. Wind can blow through them, and
I'm trying to think, I don't know, maybe this is a discussion for another day, but I'm trying to think how inbuilt the actual, we talk about the indica sativa split basically in terms of the growth structure and stuff, but in terms of the high, people know that better because we actually smoke weed, right? The indica plants kind of make you sleepy and, I don't know, tired and whatever else, or relaxed, and the sativa plants make you peppy and whatever. But how true is that? Out of 100 seeds or 1,000 seeds, or let's say a mountaintop full of seeds, if you had a land race that we were talking about, are you really going to always find 1,000 sativa basically leaning plants? I mean, I feel like the split is a lot more like you're talking about, basically environmental, Um, how do I put this? Just the entire situation is not nearly as cut and dry as we like to think. Like, so out of 100 seeds, you're probably going to get, even for a quote unquote sativa, you're probably going to get 20 that are a lot more fat leaf, sleepy, sedative, and then a bunch more that are a lot more, I don't know, am I way off? What do you guys think?
For sure. It depends on how much the line's worked. I mean, if it's been repeatedly worked trying to zero in on a certain genotype, like this really specific, and trying not genotype, but specific phenotypes, looking for everything sativa, sativa, sativa. I mean, you probably still find you're saying something a little more narcotic and so forth, but I think the percentages are going to be more tilted in one direction than the other. Like the Panama Red F4 I have, for instance. I haven't tried any of them yet that made me feel tired. They've all been like awaking, uplifting, but some of them have like a calming relax while I'm waking, grooving, and some of them are anxiety inducing. And so they're all upbeat, but some of them are actually like upbeat to where it's like anxious feeling, and some are just like relaxed and clear thinking, smooth kind of feel. But I wouldn't say them make me tired, but there's definitely different levels of how they feel. But being so much sativa, being all bred that way, everything comes out long and lanky. There's more of the upbeat feel to all of
it. How do I put this? I guess I'm saying nothing and something at the same time, because on the one hand, this is nothing new. When you work a line, basically you end up working those traits. But I feel like as soon as, let's say you have an F4 that's basically super, super paranoia inducing, let's call it. If you were to drop those on a hill, I feel like we just said, within one generation, it would revert not only probably to hemp, but it might revert to, just the general, basically cannabis. It wouldn't probably be that F4 that you were used to, even though you had worked it all that time. As soon as it starts to work itself, basically on a mountaintop, I feel like it would basically revert to a general cannabis phenotype. I know it's something I'd like to try one of these days. How fun would that be?
that. That'd be interesting to see. I'd like
Seeds
to.
on a mountaintop, right?
Anyone have a mountaintop they want to donate?
Seriously, that would be so much
I'll
fun.
throw 100 Panama seeds on it.
That's
let's
it.
go.
Joe Grow asks, how about super ripe top buds and the bottom buds are less ripe, different effects? I used to think that was true. What do you guys think, Joel or Flora, both? I used to think there was a difference between the top and bottom, but now I don't really think so.
I don't really think so. I know it was popular. Back in the flow was supposedly you could chop the top half of that, and the rest of it keeps going. Like it wasn't as mature at the bottom or something. I don't know if that was true or that was just a sales gimmick or not. I don't know. I always harvest the whole entire plant, and when it's all mixed into a bucket together, I couldn't tell you if it was a top nug or a bottom nug when I smoked it. I got just as high from either one, so I don't think there's a difference.
No, the main difference I think there is that the top buds are generally going to be bigger buds, and
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think the plant basically just creates the sort of enzymes and precursors that it does, and basically just sends them all over the place. I mean, I guess there's logical reasons why you would think that. I mean, the plant brain is kind of at the top of the plant, the meristem, basically. So you'd assume like, oh, maybe the meristematic buds get a little bit different hormones or something. But I think in practice, it doesn't really do that. I don't have a scientific basis to that. I haven't tested the buds, from top to bottom. That would be, if you had access to an HPLC machine or something, that would be awesome, actually, to test the top and the bottom. I think you could get some really interesting information, maybe for hash makers and stuff, because hash makers sometimes use different parts of the plant. I'm curious. It'd be interesting. Anyway.
Recreational, when I worked in that, and the people would come out to grab the samples, they would grab them from the top of the plant a lot of times with you don't get to pick. They pick where they take like a few different samples.
I mean, certainly the top of the plant is almost always more developed, right? Like when you pick a bundle of tomatoes, the tomatoes kind of ripen from the back to the front, but cannabis kind of ripens from the top to the bottom, basically. So I don't know what that exactly means. You'd assume maybe they would have a little bit more terpenes and stuff, but you forget that cannabis isn't really creating a fruit, so to speak, right? Like the fruit would be the seed, and the cannabinoids and stuff, really, they're our fruit. They're the fruit for us, but for the cannabis plant, it's kind of a byproduct. Yeah, I don't think it would. If it were a fruit, like if it were a mango tree, if it were like a psychedelic mango that we were harvesting, then I would assume that maybe that was the case. That maybe the top mango is different than the bottom mango, but our plants are not like that. So
Unfortunately, I go for
Right.
psychedelic mango.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Have a smoothie, just enjoy the hell out of it.
Or you'd smoke fruit. No, you'd smoke dried apple in your psychedelic mango bowl.
Yeah.
So, wait, that doesn't make any sense. No, you eat the mango, but I'm thinking of like an apple bong, but I'm like an apple
Edible
bong.
pipe.
You then eat it at the same time. I don't know. Okay. We're getting too far. All right,
Apple
boys and
pipe.
girls. What's that, Flora?
I said I haven't done apple pipe in a long, long time. That's like a teenager thing.
I
Used
had
do it.
to maybe like 10 months ago or something, all my bongs and stuff were packed up. I was moving and I had like nothing around me and I was out of papers. Like, fuck, I want to get high. And I had some weed and I had an apple. So I was like, all right, we're gonna make this work. And I can't remember. I didn't even have any aluminum foil or anything. I just shoved something in the apple and it wasn't the best water pipe, but it was okay. Or apple pipe, it was okay. Anyway, cheers, St. Pete. Boys and girls, I think we probably all have some work to do. I know North Star is always talking about going back to the garden. Oh, holy cow! Smash just hopped in.
Oh,
Let's
it's
say
hot today.
real quick. What's that, North Star?
I'm heading back inside today. I'm heading
Oh,
inside
right
today. We're in
on.
the 90s out here today. I get my work done by like 10 o'clock
Oh
this
yeah,
morning. It was
that's no big.
hot.
That's
All
hot
right.
here today, or in the mid 90s.
Let's say hello to Smash real quick. What's going on, Smash?
Yeah.
That's
I
cool
just
for
want
you.
to jump on smoke one before I have to head out.
Right on. Smashy. Smash is going to have an event at the end of the month, end of this month, I think, right?
Yeah, the 29th. I'm going to be streaming it too. So if you can't be live, stay tuned on the YouTube channel.
That's cool. Right on.
Let me
Are you
pass
going to
it.
have like I don't know, booths or art? Like what are you going to have there basically? Is it going to be like a little carnival or what?
So I got three different artists. One is an acoustics guitar. I think he's bringing his acoustic guitar, and he sings. Then I have Miranda Family Farms is DJing, and after him, um, aka Mike, um, which does EDM and house music.
Right on. That'll be fun. It'll be a cool event.
It'll be fun. Even if it rains, I'm having it
Is
because
it
I got that
basically
big tent.
yeah, that'll be fun.
I found a 10 by 30 tent with 8 side walls, and it's $83.99.
That's not very expensive for that big of a
Damn.
tent.
Great.
That's scary cheap.
I was just gonna say that's a little scary cheap. Yeah, like what do they have it? They have a 10 by 13 canopy at Costco is like $150. And Costco doesn't really mark stuff up. So I'm like, okay, 3 times that size for half as much. I'm not sure. I mean,
Walmart.
is it from Walmart? Well,
Hollywood.
so last year I needed couple 3 canopies honestly for my plants because the rain unfortunately came way too early. The year before the rains didn't come until like late November, but this last year, poor ass me, they came in like September. So I got these goddamn Walmart canopies and every single one of them busted apart in the most comical ways. Like the tarp fell off, the arms broken in half, basically. Like they were just absolute wet heart garbage. And by the time I got back, like we just threw them away. I didn't even bother returning them to the store. I was so mad I was going to return them, but we were like, oh fuck, we just threw them in the scrap, and that was it. It was done. Um, so where I'm going to with that is that they are fine until they're not. So basically, like they felt like they were decent duty, not heavy duty, but like decent. But as soon as there was some freaking wind, it was game over. So I don't know what that tells you. If there's no wind on your I mean, it's the end of June, so what's the weather normally? Is it just going to be nice and pleasant?
Hopefully. even still, I'm in like my backyard has a lot of windbreaks.
So that's how you figure that shit out. Like if you're not likely to have a storm and the most likely thing that you're going to have is maybe a light sprinkle or some shit, I think that's probably fine. Even then, you might be overkill then. You might just honestly get a couple of umbrellas and call it good.
Yeah, but I got people with like DJ equipment and stuff.
I got you. Well,
And I know people are
but
going to
again,
break
an
my
$83
head.
tent, I don't think is going to be waterproof. I hate to break it to you. I think it's going to be water resistant at best. So actually, if you have like DJ equipment, electronic equipment, you'd be way better off, I think, probably under like a lawn umbrella.
Yeah, I'm gonna put tarps on it too, like actual plastic tarps on the top,
That's a good idea. No, that's a good
just to
idea.
be safe.
Yeah. Um,
Just over the DJ side. That's really the only place I want it to be as dry as possible.
hmm. No, that's fair. That's honestly, and I mean, you don't want to have you're going to have a power run to those things too, so you don't want to short it out or something and have someone get electrocuted. That'd be a little bit ridiculous. So yeah.
Yeah, I got outlets outdoors already, which is dope.
Hmm. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Excuse me.
I'm
Sounds like a ton
smoking
of fun.
Chem
What,
Dog
25 kilowatts and a
together
half?
with White Calio.
That's one of yours, right?
It is
How does it smoke?
good. I'm trying to I can't dial in what it smells like. It kind of smells like asphalt. Like
That's cool.
like a funky asphalt.
Be a good name for a strain. Funky asphalt.
It's really good. Really stony.
Right on. Well, that's right up your alley. Do you get any of you got the Calio in there? Do you get that kind of orange terp or the citrus or anything?
Not on this one, but the one I just harvested does have a little bit of citrus.
Hmm. That's
Um,
cool.
I wonder if
I'm
Calio
actually say it one more time.
is Calio Mexican weed, or what was the original story on that? It's like
California orange. I don't remember what the original story.
Skunk number one.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I've always liked Calio.
yeah, Joel Rogan there, or at least on my side.
I heard him say skunk one.
Yeah, I think it's just a skunk. Skunk number one. It's just I mean, nothing really special. It's just the orange. It's just a selection of orange skunk. Back the earlier skunks back in the '80s had a lot more variation to them. And when it was taken over to Amsterdam, they kept continually breeding it towards the sweet skunk. So it's skunks changed over the years, but you had the roadkill citrus stuff. You had real ammonia kind of Afghan heavy stuff.
You know, I haven't seen that ammonia stuff in a long time.
Yeah, like cat piss kind of thing.
Like true cat piss, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
want
had
Seafoam
one
says it was from Skunk
about
Man.
10 years ago. It was a Cashberry Resin Factory F3 that I had originally gotten from Dr. Green Thumbs in Canada. And oh my God, my wife kicked me out of the house and me trim it on the freaking porch because it stunk the whole house out.
Huh.
It was horrible.
How
I
funny.
mean, I did actually. It smelled like cat piss. I did not want it. I didn't like trimming it. It fucking stunk. I didn't keep it because it's so bad. Just it was horrible.
Hmm.
When my hands stunk like it, literally, like I got pissed on. A real just strong ammonia smell.
I hate that smell. Oh my God. Some people I think are not very sensitive. For example, cat people. But oh my absolute God, I cannot freaking stand it. I used to have a neighbor that basically was a cat guy, and he'd always invite me over to shoot the shit. And I would just be like, oh my God, I'd stand there for 10 minutes. I just have to leave because there was just so much of that ammonia. I
Gagging.
couldn't fucking take it. Yeah, it gets in your sinuses and your eyes start watering. I couldn't freaking take it. Ugh,
Oh my!
unreal.
I guess I was 12 years old, and my dad's, I got a job for you. He took me over to this person's farm he knew, and the guy was like, "Here, this horse stall. I need you to get all this old hay out of here." And I didn't get freaking 10 scoops into that. Freaking ammonia was so rank. There's no fucking way. I keep the money. I don't want the job. I can't do it. I'm gonna pass out in here from the stink. It was just horrible.
I would have did the exact same thing. I don't mind if it's like hay from like a couple days ago, but if that shit's just been sitting in there,
It
By the way,
was like
CTC.
3 inches thick at bottom of like wet, nasty
Oh
shit.
man,
Oh god, it was
so
horrible.
hard. That was like chemical warfare. Yeah. Holy shit. CTC asks, "What's North Star's favorite hybrid?" I don't know if this. If I could speak English now, what is North Star's favorite hybrid with the Panama that he has? You apparently have quite a few. So, what's your favorite?
The Cameo de Cruces I had, that's from the F3, the previous generation. That was the Dark Desire crossed with the Panama.
Hmm.
Came out with some real nice spiced earth and floral notes with it. Really were really unique, and nice little speckling of purple color throughout. The Panama Red has like a reddish purple stem to it a lot of times, so it kind of really set off good with the stem and the flower color. Still had quite a bit of sativa dominance and stretch and all. That was fun. I like that one.
Hmm. He follows it up. I should have read this comment too. He says maybe that's Zapotec or Blood Moon. You've talked about that Blood Moon a couple of times. Yeah. Anyway.
Blood Moon, that's the Colombian. That's Old Mendo Haze cross with Purple Mayhem, cross with Colombian. Basically it's like a silver purple haze. It's super sticky, terpy, berry piney. Kind of also has a little bit of a floaty body, relaxing feel to it also. So it's a nice little hybrid mix to it. I'm really enjoying right now is I'm getting ready to harvest my last indoor run. So my first outdoor run is the greenhouse run is the Phantom Zone. Apollo also Alcatraz. The Apollo comes through really nicely and it mixed with the earthy OG flavor. It's like spiced, peppered, earthy pine sol mango. It's really got a really nice flavor to it, and it's has some of that like a little bit of racy, uplifting feel to it, but it's smoothed out. It's not doesn't keep you jittery feeling. It kind of gets you wanting to go do something, kind of like an inspiring feel. I want to do create art or go fiddle around in my workshop kind of deal. That's a really fun one.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I don't know why J5 is getting deleted. What else was here? Oh, so somebody said, who said it here? Was it J5 or was it somebody else? No, Hardcore said that Minnesota Nice. Do you guys remember Minnesota Nice? I don't know if you know, Flora might know him from YouTube. Basically, he was on he had his own channel, but I want to say the Mendo Dope Boys interviewed him one day, and they actually, I want to say, went to his farm in Minnesota, or what's his name again? Minnesota. Yeah, it's not Michigan. It's been Minnesota. Anyway, they were talking to him about no-tilling, and basically, this was years ago. It's like 6 or 7 years ago. He was talking about how you I think he was doing the whole lasagna process, I guess we call it now, where you basically top dress in layers and stuff. Anyway, super cool guy, and then he vanished. I guess he's back online. He'd be a great guest. Do you remember him, Flora?
Yeah, I remember he had the glasses on in the video.
I think so, and a big old beard.
Yeah, I remember.
Actually, now that I think about it, Mendo Dope Boys would be cool too. Yeah, there'd be a bunch of cool guests that we should get. It's part of why I want to change some of the way that I do the show. You know, some of these live streams don't really work out too well. Here, let's show off Smash Garden as we head out here. But some of these live streams are not very conducive for having cool guests. So anyway, oh, those are nice looking buds. We can't hear you, Smash, if you're talking. Oh, nice and frosty. That's that Chem 91 Calio, I think, huh? Oh, where'd he go? All right, never mind. When's he gonna chop those? I feel like they've been ready for 3 weeks now. All right, we'll wait until Smash comes back. Maybe his internet conked out. But all right, ladies and germs, we'll slowly start to bounce out of here. Anybody having any announcements? Joel or Flora, any big sales or announcements?
Sure.
Go for it.
We got the June sales are all up. I actually got a 10% off everything on the website. Use code SUMMER, genetic supply website. We've got salted Afghan menu 35% off, and Sublime Crime menu is 35% off. I'm also doing every single order this month is entered into a raffle. Your selection of a clone or pack of seeds, your choice.
That's cool.
Yeah, all kinds of fun shit. I actually got a raffle right now on Instagram until the end of this week. Here we got going. You win a clone.
That's cool.
So if you're looking for a free clone, go for it.
Yeah, you did that.
What's that, Flora?
I asked if you gave away those seeds, but then I remembered, yeah, you did do a duck race. See, this cannabis is working.
Oh, me, yeah. Who won it? Operation Annihilation won it. What about you, Flora? Anything new?
Newest excitements on genetic supply, I guess. But yeah, it's like
Right on.
nothing other than that.
Sorry, I got a phone call coming.
Yes.
Just gonna be popping some seeds. Is basically what my plan is doing. It's just popping some seeds and exploring. That's why I was asking about that Morgana,
Sweet.
but yeah, I don't know.
Nice
It's like
process, man.
it's not the best time to be exploring seed desert. It's just hot. But whatever. What lives is meant to live.
This plant has so many trichomes on. I can see individual trichomes with the bare eye. It's so. This one's so like frosted up. Like, let me see if I can show. Just even some of these side, like this is the bottom bud, and it's just all trichomes right here.
Nice looking plant.
That's the papaya.
When are you chopping them?
This one's probably coming down Saturday. Then I've taken 2 out of the 3 that were in here. There's one left. This is one of the chem dogs. I don't know. She just seemed like she could go a little bit longer, so I just let her stay in the pot. Apple fritter crosses. This one looks like it probably could get harvested, so Saturday for this one. But I've been letting this one grow, and it looks so good.
Mm.
It went from green to this dark purple.
Looks nice.
But yeah, and then I got a whole bunch of stuff over here that just started flowering. Well, we're a couple weeks into flowering with these ones. Probably like 2.
Good. Right on.
Exciting.
Gentlemen, it's been quite a show in the end. Good to see everybody. Folks in the chat, by the way, too. Nice to see everybody. Let me remove spotlight here. Smash, go for it, buddy. Say your goodbyes or whatever.
I hope everyone has a good day. If you're from Mass or the East Coast, June 29th, come hang out. Other than that, be safe.
Cheers, Smash. Good to see you. I thought he was going to say, if you're from Mass, come smash some ass. Go for it, North Star.
All right. Thanks for having the show, Fumador. Everybody on here, stop one genetic supply. We got some sales going on, all kinds of good stuff. Grab some South Bay Genetics and floor nugs on there. Check it out. All kinds of good stuff.
Sweet.
Thanks for popping on.
Later.
Later.
North Star. Go for it, Flora.
Are you gonna be around Saturday?
Probably. We'll see.
All right. I will see you on
Oh,
Saturday.
D for sure will have take over on Saturday. He said he was gonna be here.
All right, cool. Well, I'll be there. Until then, smoke some dank.
Sweet, right on for it. Sounds like a good plan. Good to see you, buddy. That leaves the rest of us, ladies and germs. D's in the chat there, definitely eating fresh brains on the side of the river there. Really enjoying it. Maybe with a little squeeze of lemon. I wonder, honestly, how he eats his fresh brains. Maybe Mexican style with a little bit of tahini on the top. Just a little sprinkle. Anyway, with some limes. How would a zombie eat brains on vacation? Would they? Anyway, maybe on a taco, probably, or sashimi brains. Maybe there's a Japanese sushi chef with the brains and sushi rolls, brain rolls. Anyway, interesting thought experiment, right? Operation Annihilation's in the house. J5. Who else in here? Big Terp's hanging. He's saying, good show. See you all later. Keep on cracking. Good to see Big Terp. Who else in here? Dave Barron. Sorry, I keep saying people's names wrong. He says, cheers, stoners and moaners. DGC Jeff is smoking his way out of the premises. What else in here? Who am I missing? Christophe, bonsoir, mon ami. And of course, CTC. Who else? Oh, Pot. We missed Pot. Look at that. Best name in the chat. Holy cow. Pot. Good to see you, Pot. Welcome. But Kilowatt and of course Hardcore Smoke Sense and Saint Pete Runner and of course Grant Widener. If I haven't shouted you guys out, hopefully I'll shout you guys out next time. Consider yourselves shouted out in the meantime because we can't get everybody, so we'll just pretend. A couch in the house. I almost didn't catch you. But until next time, ladies and germs, puff something wonderful. Don't forget to, if you're able to, if you're not able to puff something wonderful, treat yourself. Maybe, I don't know, get a donut or a pizza or something. I don't know, treat yourself all right. Or even, I don't know, get yourself a good book at the library or something. Doesn't have to spend money. You don't have to spend money. But in the meantime, folks, I hope you guys do puff something wonderful. If you are able to, don't forget to visit fumidoro.com. We always talk about, genetic supply and all these different websites, but I have my own website, motherfucker. Holy shit. Check out fumidoro.com, ladies and germs. Use the coupon code BRAINZ. That would be D in the chat. He's like, oh, he's probably on the side of the river there with his canapé of brains. Anyway, ladies and germs, save yourself a bit of cash. Use the coupon code BRAINS. Pick up some merch. Oh, I don't think I'm wearing a Fumidoro t-shirt. I'm wearing Cathedral Park Jazz Festival. I almost wore a Fumidoro t-shirt, but I guess I didn't. And then, of course, genetic supply or genetic preservation kits, rather. I heartily recommend Sour Morgana. That's something I gave away today. Something I wholeheartedly recommend. The other Morgana editions are lovely too. Morgana version 2. Pardon me. Black Soma Morgana, I would really recommend. I'm probably going to take the original Morgana off the website pretty soon. So it's going to be like request only. I still have some seeds, but I think I'm just going to do request only on those because I don't have all that many seeds. I'm probably just going to run through them myself. Anyway, fuck was I trying to say? But I am actually one of these days. I need to finally put Lime River Rose V2 and Morgana V2 on there. Stupid. No, I think Morgana V2 is on there. All right, whatever. I need to revamp my website too, honestly. But folks, check it out. Check out Sour Morgana. Check out Gaffer Tape. And Figment is another one that I would very much recommend. That's Forbidden Fruit crossed to the Coot Special #3. If you really want some aggressive, growing fruitiness in your life, that would be a good one. Check out Figment. Or, of course, like people were talking about, Jones and 2Grow was talking about Oblivion. Check that one out, ladies and germs. That's Memory Loss from Archive crossed to that Coot Special. So, ladies and gerbils, thanks very much for joining us. Until we meet again, I guess we'll be here on Saturday for Deep's Takeover, and I might occasionally do the Friday cook-offs. I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, oh, wouldn't it be fun to do a couple of those, burger grill-offs or whatever? So we'll see. We'll probably won't do it every week or something, but maybe every once in a while we'll do it or something. Maybe we'll announce it ahead of time or something. Anyway, I was almost tempted to do it this week, but I'm like, man, probably honestly not enough time. I got to get back to California. So maybe when I get back from California. Plus, I also have this teeny tiny little baby grill. So probably it'd be better if I actually finally buy a human-sized grill instead of this baby. I mean, not that I don't like my Smoky Joe, but The whole fucking thing is literally that big, so you can literally cook maybe 4 or 5 patties total. Anyway, adios, folks. Thanks very much for hanging. Puff something wonderful, and until we meet again,